What is going on, SHIPIT Nation YouTube station? We are here for a March Madness edition of the NBA show. The Clemson Tigers, you are officially on upset alert right now. But before I kick it over to my guy, Title, I got to say what's up to Justin, William, Coach Chris, the legend, Hebrew Cheetah, Jordan Newens, Charlie, Wardo's in here, Richard's in here, New York, Stiegel, Jay, what's going on, my man? How you doing? Austin's in here, Rodney, Langley, Josh Gillum, what's going on, Josh? How are you doing, my man? But I'll kick it over to you. We just got the news. I guess Austin Reeves is out now, so it's going to be Bronny James getting the start starring for the Lakers. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know if he's eligible. Title, what's going on, my man? How are you doing? How's your Thursday going?
Oh, God. I mean, Thursday's going great. First day of March Madness. I always grew up absolutely loving it. Been watching it all morning. 2-0 on the bets. Bet a little bit on the Badgers. Also got it done with Creighton, so money's to be made. Shout out to our man Smarty, always in the college basketball streets. Yeah, Rio is traveling. Shout out to Rio. Good luck at the live final tomorrow. So I did the slate plan, so even more prepared than usual. But at the top of the slate plan was Austin Reeves. Why was that? We got news Luka was out earlier. So I had him. I had Dorian Finney-Smith. Now he's doubtful. Man, I mean, Goodwin and Vincent. I don't even know what this game. DraftKings took it off in terms of the spread. I don't know what it's going to open back up at. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll get it throughout the show. Who do they have? Well, they definitely have plenty of bodies from what I'm seeing. Bronny James is one of them. Not only when people get chirped for sitting at the end of the bench, it's even worse when you're sitting second level of the bench, which Bronny was most of that game yesterday. I mean, they need playmakers. They need scoring. Dalton Connect has to be a phenomenal play. They're going to have to play Shake Milton, Gabe Vincent, Jordan Goodwin, Markieff Morris, maybe. I mean, yeah, it's I want to see starting lineup, but they are super, super thin. Bucks are going to be big favorites. It's the guys I want to play that will get some garbage time run. What guys will that be? I think Connect. I think Shake Milton. But yeah, it's Lakers are the story of the slate.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get there. I mean, just looking at Bronny, I mean, no one, I shouldn't say no one, very few people have ever clicked on Bronny James's name in DFS, if not now, when. I mean, just looking at DraftKings, you got the top three price guys out, and they're obviously their best three players out. You got Rui, who's questionable, who hadn't played in about a month.
He's out now, I think.
Rui's already been listed as out.
Yeah, he was ruled out with that, and Vanderbilt's doubtful too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, we'll have to wait to see on the starting lineup, but I think, Gabe Vincent is going to be the best play, and Dalton Connect may shoot it 25 times in this game. But anyway, we'll get into that here in a minute. Chat's popping right now. Giannis, I've been the biggest Giannis hater. Newens says, I got my guy Title with me. I got Newens in the chat, but Giannis hadn't been on the winner title in 2 months, and I get a lot of flack for saying he's not good at basketball. He's an absolute freak of nature. Don't get me wrong. He's just frustrating to watch sometimes because
he hasn't been on the winner in 2 months. I guess looking back at his last real score, 72. So yeah, I mean, you are, I guess, right about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's always in the 50s. I mean, he gets triple doubles all the time. I mean, and there's Newens chirping. So I love it. I mean, I think he's probably top 10 in the NBA. When I say he sucks at basketball,
you're tweaking. He's top 3.
Top 3, you think?
Top 3.
Who's number 1 and 2?
Yeah, Jokic is number 1 for sure.
What about 2?
Got to be Luka probably.
And so you would take Giannis over Shea?
Yes. Once that whistle goes in that pocket in playoff time, I mean, Shea's great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'll take Giannis. Problem is, you can make the same counter argument. Once it hits playoff time and these defenses really actually scout and build a wall, we've seen Giannis struggle plenty. We've also saw Giannis put his absolute team on his back and his nuts on the ground against Phoenix in Game 6 and coming back in that. And that series was absolutely insane. So, Cat, get out of here, Wardo.
Yeah.
Thing is, these guys are so good up top. I ain't gonna argue it's so close. If someone has Giannis 5, sure, whatever. So yeah, I mean, Rio's got SGA number 2. I got Jokic, Luka, Giannis, then probably SGA.
I don't know, man. When you
thankfully, it means absolutely nothing. It means the same.
It means absolutely nothing. We can sit here all day and debate.
Yeah, it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so I'm going to say top. I'm going to say top 10 title. That's an unpopular take. And
I agree. He is top 10. Top 5 is top 10, so I do agree about that.
He's top 10, and he's not 4 through 10.
No,
yeah, we can sit here and debate that all day. There's no right or wrong answer. Hey, I think this is a bad take. I think he's top 2. My boy, Hebrew Cheetah loves prime MJ right there. Some quick drops, knocking it 27 times a game. But in any event, let's get into the games. Not the Mavs giving up Brunson, Luka, and Quentin Grimes, the 4th best player in the NBA. We got some real games to talk about. First one on the slate is going to be the Knicks and Cat, the best player in the league, according to some in the chat, taking on Charlotte. Talk to me about this game. You got Cat, you got LaMelo. Jalen Brunson is out in this game, which is obviously some big news to discuss. But where are you going in this game? Pretty big spread, right? Knicks coming off a bad loss. 115-point total, 7.5-point favorites. Knicks at Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte's pretty much a cross-off. So it's worth noting, there's only 4 players priced above $9K on this slate. And we lost what was going to be the chalk in Austin Reeves. LaMelo is one of those 4, and Steph's one of those 4. And I don't really like those two too much, which makes me, when we get to Cat on the other side, Cat looks very, very strong. And now Giannis, I mean, there's concern if they're absolutely blowing out this dismantled Lakers team, what kind of run is Giannis going to get in the 4th quarter? So the upper tier does not look too strong, but you will have the money since there's a ton of value. Just raw points will matter, which I guess brings in LaMelo and Steph a little bit if you want to get different up top. But yeah, I mean, I don't like the Charlotte side. I guess the biggest stuff, Diabate is questionable. Not that means too much, but I think if he's out, Nurkic would get a small bump, and he's 3.2K. Now, again, we have so much value already with Vincent, with Goodwin, Day'Ron Sharp's down there. I'd be fine with Nurkic, I think, if Diabate's out. If he's in, probably a full cross-off. Again, maybe LaMelo. I guess Bridges is 9K too. I guess LaMelo would probably be the only one if Diabate's in, just because we have enough value on the slate and he's so low owned on a raw point slate. Nick's side is definitely good, though. Without Brunson, I mean, Cat looks amazing at 9.7K. Again, I just talked about the lack of spend-ups we have. Great matchup. I will have a ton of Cat today. Mikal Bridges at 6'2". OG at 7'1". I don't mind Deuce at 5'8". I definitely prefer OG more. I like Josh Hart at 8K. Cam Payne, I know Wardo brought him up a little bit. I left him out of the slate plan. I was on the edge. He's fine. I mean, when he plays his 18 minutes, his usage is about 21%. If he makes shots, he can get you 23, 24. If he just shoots okay and gets you 18, I'm not sure that's enough on this slate with all the Lakers stuff we have now. So I prefer the Knicks spends and the mid-tier guys. Give me the guys that will play a lot of minutes, Cat, Bridges, OG, Hart. And then if Diabate's out, maybe some Nurkic. I still don't love it. LaMelo's a spend without many spend, but I don't even like that much.
Yeah, I mean, and I was going to mention it, and Wardo beat me to it, but Deuce McBride is listed as questionable, right? Has a Q tag now. If he is out, I think Cam Payne. Yeah, 3-1. He's almost a lock in my opinion. You don't think so?
No, I don't know about lock. I mean, he definitely would be a strong play. The thing is, he's still competing with some other decently high usage guys. He'd be a very strong play if Deuce is out. If Deuce is out,
yeah. Only if Deuce is out, and he starts.
Yeah, he's still in play if Deuce is in, but it falls way down the list. And I was talking like Deuce was in. If he's out, I don't know if I would use the word lock again with so much value, but he would definitely be strong.
I'm going to use the L word. I know we don't like to use the L word, but 3,100. He's going to play 30-plus minutes. Yeah, lock may be strong, but very, very 99% then. How about that? It's
a 5-game slate. It's just, I guess, how do you compare him? I know Goodwin and Vincent are more expensive, but there's so much value on this slate. How do you compare him to like those guys for 1K to 1.5K more?
I mean, Goodwin to me is an afterthought. Even with the bodies, man, I watched him the last several games, and last night specifically, he was just brutal. Now, I know it's like that was just one game, but I mean, Cam Payne has been in the league. You know, he's not afraid to shoot it. He's going to
He was
play.
he was so brutal, and he put up 23 DK points in 26 minutes.
Who? Jordan Goodwin?
Yeah.
Let me see about that.
I mean, it's the stocks and the peripherals. That's like 4-3, 3-3. If he shoots the ball a little more efficiently, yeah. If Deuce is out, maybe it is campaign because that 1.5K it still goes a little while. Regardless, you can play all three.
I guess I missed the 34-point performance. I guess I was watching the Milwaukee and the Phoenix game where he got 11.25. I'm taking Payne.
I was going to say, yes, Reeves is out. Rui's out. Vanderbilt's out. Dory Finney-Smith is out. All those dudes just got out before the show. Yeah, just play NHL. We do have 10 games in NHL. You go up there top. NHL content. SaberSim's great for it. Hey, that's another thing. Even though I'm not hosting, I'll throw it up there right away.
There you go. Do it. Yeah, do the. There you go.
You have SaberSim. Awesome for all sports, but stacking sports in particular. NHL is a stacking sport. Baseball right around the corner. So good for that. 10 games on tap. I guess prizes are pretty good. Our man Shahil Sub, I hope I said his name right, absolutely crushes hockey, crushes all DFS sports. Nades does a phenomenal job in there. And again, with SaberSim, as you can see on these packages, if you use the starter, the best value, you do get projections ownership from SaberSim, and you get hours as well, and allows you to build 500 teams in late swap. So even if you don't know anything about it, get in the Discord, ask some game theory questions, and I think you could have some fun in hockey streets. But let's get back to NBA. We're still playing NBA tonight.
Yeah, still playing NBA. Yeah, so sorry I failed on my hosting duties. I had the GOAT with me, and I failed him today talking about talking about the thing. What about anything else in this game that you want to touch on, or should we move to the next one?
No, I wouldn't mind making a rule like minimum one Knicks, especially if Deuce is out, minimum one Knicks in my squad. Again, Lakers will be a lot of the story because they're cheap, but you have to spend on spots. Hornets aren't good. Knicks are implied for one of the most points on the slate, and they just have clear guys in the mid-tier and then Cat up top that have big boy upside. So shout out to Wardo, one of the best spots on the slate. I'm going to have plenty of Knicks in my teams.
Excellent. Next game on the slate is going to be the Nets against the Pacers. For some reason, this game is on, I think it's on TNT or the NBA television for whatever reason. Cam Thomas out for the season. Cam Johnson is sitting this one out. They're trying to lose these games. Those are the two biggest names out for the Nets. And on the other side, Tyrese Halliburton is listed as questionable. No other big name that I'm seeing as listed as questionable or probable in this one. So it should be a pretty healthy Pacers squad. I don't know if you saw that game last night, but it was a crazy comeback that they had to beat the Mavericks last night. But any love for Brooklyn at Indy tonight?
Man, yeah, it's like the Mavs just find every master tank job by the Mavs. How you give that one up is pretty crazy. But Pacers side, I mean, the Tyrese news is big. He's been listed with a Q tag recently, and he's missed. He hasn't played since the 15th. 8.6K. If he does miss, guys like Nembhard, Neesmith become much better plays. If Tyrese is in, it's really hard for me to get to many of these guys because A, it's a fully healthy team. The prices are solid. This game, I don't love playing the Nets side by any means, but I don't love playing too many spots against the Nets either. If I'm not mistaken, Rio's brought up that they've been a little better on defense, but it more just so has to do with Siakam, Turner, Tyrese, Neesmith. They just have everybody. So at their prices, I'd rather pick on teams like we just talked about. No Brunson, play some Knicks. No Sabonis later, play some Kings. Go to the net side right here without Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson, two big pieces. Some of these Nets, D-Russ, he's going to have to have the ball in his hands a ton. He is coming with ownership, so by no means is it sneaky, as you see on the Stone, 37%. But 5.8K, very strong play, needs the ball a ton. Zaire Williams, I think, is a little interesting. I don't even mind taking a shot on like Keon Johnson. If he gets hot, he can put up 35, which can be on the winner. We saw 44 2 games ago, 36 the games prior. Without Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas, he's been chucking a lot more, so he's not really getting much ownership. I think he's a very solid pivot from D-Russ at a lot less ownership. And then I have interest in both the centers, Day'Ron Sharpe and Nick Claxton. I would group them both away. Sharpe's getting more ownership, it looks like right now. So in chalkier teams, which 5-game slate, especially on a slate like this, I do worry a little bit about ownership and dupes. Not too much about it. Saber does a good job taken into consideration. But even one of my teams that finished really good on DraftKings yesterday on such a big slate had like 7-8 dupes with it, which does show you do have to be a little cautious with it, and even more so on smaller slates. Claxton, I think, is an interesting pivot. You're not playing him with Sharp, who's getting some ownership. If Claxton does really good, that means he might get a couple more minutes. They split the 48 at center, and then maybe Sharp busts that way. So I don't mind Sharp. I don't mind Claxton. They're low owned. Center's an okay position, especially when you're considering playing a lot of cats. So I'm okay with it. But it's mainly the Keon Johnsons, the D-Russ, the Zaire Williams of the world. Pacers side of Tyrese is in. I really don't like it much.
Yeah, excellent breakdown there. I think Tyrese missed last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, he missed last night. Yeah, last couple. So, yeah, be sure to tune in to that. Next up on the slate should be, I guess, interesting game from a fantasy perspective. It's a big boy spread, right? So you got a 14.5-point spread. You got the Warriors heavy favorites, so they're going to be popular, in my opinion. You mentioned it earlier. There's only a handful of players above 9K, Steph being one of those. But any interest for any of these Raptors guys going up against the Warriors? It's a 224.5-point total. 14.5-point spread. I mean, we don't like to build for blowouts, but the Vegas would tell you this is going to be a blowout. Talk to me about this one, Title. Raptors at the Warriors.
It's an awful game to target. The only injury news on the Golden State side is Gary Payton, who's questionable. We talked about Toronto a lot recently, and the fact of it's really hard playing guys that, like, when they want to lose games. And that's the case here. They had what? It was Doughton that went off for like that, or Roden that went off for that insane game. 2 days later, they sent him to the G League. I think it was Jamal Shed that they benched at halftime that one game that was doing too good. They're without RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Walter on that side, but they still have enough bodies. The prices are all there, and you just don't know what the rotations are going to be. So I don't want to click on any of these Raptors. I have zero lean on any of them. If I had to click one, Emmanuel quickly probably, and hope he gets that 29, 30 minutes and just shoots the ball really well. And the more I look at it, I guess I don't hate that because he's going to be low owned, and he has been getting about 30 minutes recently. He's not going to get any more than that, but he is chucking the basketball, and he hasn't shot the ball great lately. So I guess quickly's fine. Golden State side, I mean, they're just such big favorites. It's a healthy team. Like, I don't love Steph as a spend up compared to other guys up there. I think I even prefer LaMelo. Draymond at 6'3". I'm never a huge Draymond guy. It does feel like one of those games, though. He could get some stocks, get running, get assists. I think the most interesting piece for me is Kuminga. He came back. He's played 19, 20, 27, and 23 minutes. Usage has been really good, about 26%, and he hasn't shot the ball well. If he gets 25 minutes, I always like Kuminga when he's aggressive. He can always get to the rim, really athletic, grab rebounds, stocks. And this is one of those games, like, as big favorites, maybe he can get you 26, 27 minutes. And if that's the case at low ownership, I think Kuminga's pretty interesting at 5.5. Like, Dalton connects right there. D-Russ is right there. Nobody's going to play Kuminga. What do we have, 10% on a 5-game slate? I think that is a little interesting. Hard for me to go to Jimmy.
For Jimmy Buckets, who's gotten back-to-back 48-point games.
Yeah, with Steph back now, I just 8.2. I don't love it by any means. You're comparing him to the Malik Monks, the DeMar DeRozan's range, and I do prefer them. The Zach LaVines as well. I'm going to prefer those Kings when we get there. They've looked really good recently without Sabonis.
Yeah, it's a big boy price tag for Jimmy Butler. I mean, I know the Warriors are playing better real life basketball without him, but man, that's 8.2 is a lot of money in my opinion. You're going to get him low owned. So if you wanted to get different for whatever reason, Jimmy at 8.2, no one's going to own him, and probably rightfully so. Excellent breakdown there on that game. We got 2 games left on the slate. Make sure you're hitting that like. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Certainly helps us out a ton. Over here, we got the Bulls taking on the Kings again. Should be, I guess, another decent game to talk about from a fantasy perspective. You said it a minute ago, you're going to be more interested in this Kings. Sabonis is still out. LaRavia, I saw this morning, was listed as questionable. On the other side, Josh Giddey. What did Coach Donovan say? 30 to 32 minutes, something like that.
He got midday downgraded too to Josh Giddey.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Lonzo is out. Ayo Dosunmu is out. Patrick Williams is probable. Biggest news as far as injuries go. Talk to me about this game that we're talking about now. 7-point favorites are the Kings. Highest total on the slate, if I'm not mistaken, almost 234-point total, but Bulls at the Kings.
Yeah, the Giddey midday downgrade is definitely interesting. The thing is, like, if he is just resting, and I think they're in the 9 seed. I saw people talking a little bit in Discord. Like, are they just fully tanking? They're decent-sized dogs, but they have enough bodies where it's like, even if Giddey's out, like, I think Trey Jones is fine at 6.3K. I think Kobe White, because it's like a raw point slate, and if Kobe White gets you like 5.3x, he gets you like 44, 45 DK points. Very well could be on the winner on this slate. So I guess he's fine if Giddey's out. The Herter at 5.5, but again, comparing him to Dalton Connect, I'd like Connect more. The D-Russ, I would like D-Russ more. Montes Bazelis would get a bump. I'd really want to see how they project and what the ownership would look like if we don't get Giddey. Now, a midday downgrade tells me like he's more likely to miss than not. And it's worth noting on this slate. So there's 5 games, and it's 10 or 7 Eastern, 7 Eastern, then a 3-hour window, 2 games at 10 Eastern, 2 at 10:30. And I like the Knicks. I like some Brooklyn pieces, but I like some of those Knicks guys. But it's important stuff. Like, you want to know who the Lakers are starting. You want to know this Josh Giddey news. So I don't know. I guess that takes some interest off of the Brooklyn side. I didn't like Indy. I didn't like Charlotte. Makes me like them even less because I want to backload a bit. So I definitely still going to play some Knicks. I'm definitely still good with some Brooklyn, but I don't want like 5 roster spots, I don't think, filled up going into these late games because I want to know Giddey. I want to know the starting lineups. But yeah, it'd be their main, like the Herders, Bazelis of the world, Kobe Whites, maybe Trey Jones if Giddey's out. I want to see how they project again. Sacramento side, I was hoping Levine would miss again. He did get ruled in. He was didn't play yesterday. Again, you're just almost forced to play some of these guys in the mid-tier. They're implied for the highest points on the slate at 120. We love picking on the Bulls. Without Sabonis, like all these guards have got theirs. Monk, DeRozan, Levine. With Levine back in the mix, it definitely hurts all of them a little bit, but all their price tags are solid. Again, you don't have too many other people to spend on. I'd rather go Cat over any of these people in the mid-tier. But when comparing them, like they're all in the like mid-20-ish usage rate. 7.9 Monk, I think, would be my favorites. DeRozan 8.2, and then I'd go Levine 8.6. Just go the pricing, take the cheapest and go up. I don't know about Joe Val. I was kind of Rio's in here, so I would. Bulls are going to make the playoffs. Yeah, then why are you resting Giddey? Rio, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Joe Val. He really liked him yesterday. I want to go back to him because he's overpriced, which means his ownership's going to be low, but the minutes are scary, but he's such a good point per minute producer. If Rio tells me he can get 27 minutes in this game, I would definitely like Joe Val as a contrarian spend there. And he's, I guess, leverage, but if Monk, Levine, DeRozan, mainly Monk and DeRozan are getting more ownership, if Joe Val goes off, maybe one of those two aren't, and you get a little ownership discount, little leverage that way in your lineups. Okay, so this helps. So that wasn't, I guess, that was expected. Thank you. So Giddey probably misses. And again, I still want to see how that looks, that projection. Rio, give me your thoughts on Joe Val. And Ham, do you have any thoughts on Joe Val?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. He's too high priced, and his minutes just haven't been there for whatever reason. I understand he's a good, point, fantasy point per minute kind of guy, but yeah.
I mean, a good matchup for all these guys, overpriced, and he has the upside at low ownership. So I like it. I like it, Rio. He made the slate plan at the end because I thought you'd be on it. But his ownership, like 5% we have it. The reason for all this is because it's a 5-game slate. Ownership means more. He has the upside to break it at really low ownership. But it's clear because he's so he is overpriced. There's no doubt about that. He has to be very efficient in those minutes.
What about Joe Val versus Vooch?
Yeah, Joe Val. Give me Joe Val. Looking at Vooch. Less owner. All right.
Give me. I'll take your free lunch. I see you giving out free lunches in the Discord. I'll take you on
Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll do it. 20 or 50.
20. What kind of lunch you eating, man? I said a lunch bet. You're talking $50. I mean, we can do 50, we do 100. I mean, it don't matter to me. I'm just trying to do a little wager.
20's good. 20's good.
I mean, we'll
Title,
get
what's your favorite
salsa at Chili's is about all we'll get with $20, but nevertheless.
favorite play for the Kings? It's either Joval or it's Monk at ownership. It was definitely, if Levine missed, it was going to be Monk and DeRozan for sure. But now with Levine there, I would say because of the ownership, it'd be Joval or Monk, and DeRozan would fall down the list a little bit.
What about, I didn't hear you mention Trey Lyles, played 30 minutes last night, 3-7.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm with you. I think that was luck, if you will. But yeah, I think Malik Monk, like you said, he's going to get some ownership. I think J-Far says Trey Lyles over Nova. I don't know if he meant Joval, but I'm with you, Title, on Monk. I think Monk's a great play. Bulls, obviously bad defensively, very bad against point guards. Let's talk about if Giddey misses, though, Title. Does that bump up Horder for you or Herder for you or anybody else on the Bulls if Giddey were to miss?
Kobe White, I think, gets the biggest bump. He would just get a huge ball handling role in the usage, and I think Trey Jones would get a decent bump too. Thing is, Kobe White's expensive. Again, very expensive. Again, it doesn't mean as much on the slate. It's a lot of raw points. We have value and stuff, but he's competing against literally the Levines, the Monks, the DeRozans right on the other side of the game. If they keep this game close, it's going to have to be because of Kobe White. Pizzalis would get a bump for me too. Herder, Trey Jones. Kobe White would get the biggest. Yeah, it is a Herder revenge. It is pair by, which is a little interesting.
Yeah, I might have said, sorry.
Levine's in.
Yeah, Levine's in. I don't know if I said he's on the injury report. If I did, I meant Giddey if I did say that.
Yeah. The Trey Lyles stuff, I guess, is just, do you think this game goes small? And because that's what yesterday's game mainly was small. Vooch is capped to an extent for his minutes. After that, Zach Collins, like Trey Lyles could match up with Zach Collins, or it could be Joval. So if you do think the game goes small and Lyles gets his 28-plus minutes again, you definitely make a rule max one, Joval, Lyles. Yeah, I guess the more I look at it for his price. The thing is, he's also just competing against like the Campaigns, the Goodwins, the Vincents. We do have so much value already. He needs a real game like he did yesterday.
Yeah. No, excellent stuff there. Appreciate the chat chiming in. We certainly appreciate it. All 200 of you in here watching. Just make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button for us. And we got one game left. We're going to get through it and get on out of here. If you had over 13.5 first half on the Clemson point total, you lost. They couldn't score 14 points.
What?
Yeah, they scored 13 points in the first half. But anyway, won the game left. Interesting game. We got my favorite player, Giannis, on the slate. Damian Lillard with a midday downgrade. He's now listed as questionable in this contest. Anybody else on the Bucks that worth noting? Obviously, Bobby Portis is still out. Jericho Sims, backup big man, has been out as well. Then on the Lakers side, goodness gracious, we went through it earlier in the show, but if you just now joined us, Luka's out, LeBron's out, Austin Reeves got out as we were coming on the show. Hachimura is still out. So, Title, the Lakers, they're going to be popular. Talk to me about this game, Bucks at the Lakers.
What side do I start? I'll start hard side. I'll go Lakers. Dalton Connect has to be the best play. He's the guy that can put it on the floor, can pull up, can create his own. He's a big time shot maker. So, like Gabe Vincent, I guess he's fine at basketball. I think he's probably a little better than Jordan Goodwin. I'm not even sure about that. Thing is, they're going to have to play minutes. They're going to be starting. They're going to be handling the rock. It's only 8 points, or 7.5 actually. It was 8 points. It opened, and Lakers took some money, which is interesting. 7.5. That's what we have on this slate. 7.5 for the Bucks, 7.5 for the Knicks, 7 for the Kings, 8.5 for the Pacers, 14.5 for the Warriors. So yeah, we'll get to the Bucks side, but I love Giannis. Circling back, I love Cat. I love Giannis. Majority of my builds will have one of them to start. I think they're by far the best plays, and it's really easy to fit them. So that's the first thought I have in this one. Dalton Connect's my favorite. Then it'd be Goodwin, Vincent, pretty much tied. After that, I think they just have to play a bunch of Markieff Morris. I think they have to play Shake Milton. I don't love Jackson Hayes. I think he's fine, but like all these injuries, I don't like. He's the one that gets almost no boost for me. I don't look at that at all. To be honest, I like when Jackson Hayes plays with Luka. And I know Luka was out a while ago this morning, but the pick and roll stuff that way, it feels like he'll have less opportunities. So connect for sure, and I think Markieff is going to be strong at 3K. Because I think he's going to start at the 4. Vincent, Goodwin, connects, Markieff, Hayes. That's the lineup that makes sense to me. Trey Jameson, yeah, he was inactive yesterday. I assume he'll be active today, but that's something to keep an eye on. And again, part of kind of backloading, I want to play Knicks again, but I don't want to put up all the spots on my rosters. I do want to see what the starting lineup is. If they end up going Jameson over Markieff Morris, which I don't think will happen, or Cam Reddish over Markieff or Connect or some weird lineup, I want to have the starter mainly because I would say a lot of Shake Milton in there. But I think it's going to be Vincent, Goodwin, Connect, Morris, Hayes. Connect's my favorites. Goodwin, Vincent, Morris, like all really, really strong. I'd be fine playing all 4, I think. And I think Shake Milton's strong off the bench at 3.7K. They're going to need his ball handling. I'm not playing Bronny James. I mean, I'm not playing him. I don't know what his minutes will look like if he's starting. I don't know. Don't start Bronny James. The dude just does nothing when he's out there. So it's all the starters pretty much, though. And Connect's awesome. Morris awesome. Goodwin's awesome. Vincent's awesome. I think Shake Milton's really good. Buck side, Giannis is amazing. No other spends really to compete with. 7.5 point spread. Closer than I expected. No one can guard him. I absolutely love that. I think Dame's good at 8.5. I think Dame's really strong. All these guys. The biggest thing that I've been going back and forth on is how does the Kevin Porter Jr.'s, Gary Trent's, Taurean Princes of the world compare to this other value on the slate? You're in here. If you could add your input on that, I would really like it. Is it back to what we just said yesterday where like KPJ because he has the biggest upside? But then it's like, no, it's a different slate. Instead of 11 games, it's 5 games. Do you just go with more of the Gary Trent, which feels a little safer? 24, 25 might be enough. Dame was downgraded.
Yeah, I mean, if Dame misses KPJ, he's definitely in play. He's probably the best.
Oh, yeah. When was
3,700. If KPJ starts with Dame out, that's a no-brainer.
Oh, for sure. If KPJ, the thing is, last time KPJ didn't even get the start, they gave it to Ryan Rollins, and I don't think that'd be the same case today. But it's not for sure KPJ going right away. I hope so, and if so, yeah, he'd be like, give me him over Campaign starting for Deuce. Give me him over Vincent and Goodwin. Like, I just think he becomes phenomenal. And then I like Markieff Morris than the Vincent Goodwins because the guard position is loaded. Yeah.
What about KPJ over Gary Trent Jr.?
Yeah, that's what. Assuming Dame's in, Gary Trent feels safer because you have like 7-8 more minutes. But KPJ's just a way better per minute guy. I think KPJ's way better at basketball, so I guess slightly lean to him. But the guard forward eligibility for Gary Trent could be nice, especially when backloading teams. But Gary, I missed the Lillard stuff. Midday Q, that means probably more so out. Then that brings in like Kuzma. Kuzma's really strong at 5'4". If there's no Dame, that's a ton of usage. KPJ becomes an absolute smash. Even Brooke Lopez, like we talk about it all the time on this show, only 5'5". Man, so the more we talk through the slate, that's why I like doing it, is I like the Knicks. I didn't like the Hornets. I didn't like the Pacers, and I was indifferent about the Nets. Like, it's pretty much, I guess, now just like that makes me like Zaire Williams less. I still think Keon's interesting as a pivot, but it makes me like him a little bit less, D-Russ a little less. I'm going to play these Knicks guys, but yeah, like I probably want 5 spots plus on almost every team to be able to adjust for these 10 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 Eastern games. And I'm just going to hope that the Lakers and the Bucks give their injury news, give their lineups before those 2 10 Eastern games lock. If not, like I don't like the Golden State Raptors game anyway, so I'll have pieces in that last game for sure to maneuver around. It's just I hope it's the starting lineups that we expect.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Is like you're not going to know who's starting for the Lakers or any of those teams. You know when the slate locks, so you're going to have to leave.
I don't know how they wouldn't go Gabe Vincent, Goodwin, Connect, Morris, Hayes. Like looking at it, it just would make no sense to go anything but that.
Gabe Vincent's going to outscore Goodwin.
I get to bet you on that.
I'll bet my pinky on that one.
Wow. Taylor, I need your opinion on something. Is Kuzma the worst basketball player in the league? I told you when the Bucks got him, that definitely did not excite me.
He's good at cardio. He'll get you 35 minutes and put up about 7 points.
You are right. If Dame's out, though, I'm playing him at 5-4. Yeah, Shake Milton looks good. I like Shake Milton a lot. Daniels and Josh both did too. Shake looks really strong. Markieff Morris looks so strong, though, assuming he starts. I like the Morris. Well, they can be a little dirty, but I always thought the Morris brothers are underrated hoopers, too. So if he gets a start at 3K min price and he has the power forward eligibility, too, yeah, I'd like that. That's about all I got, Ham. That's the game of the night, no doubt about it. And, of course, it's the last game.
That's the game of the night. Andrew Martinez says play cat and backload.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. How many – let's talk just a little bit strategy, like on DK, how many spots would you leave open for the last 3 games?
I think 5+. I don't think I want any more than 3 in the first game.
Like the first,
that Giddy news is big. The first, because they're both at 7 Eastern. So and the thing is, I don't like Charlotte. I don't like the Pacers. So that's easy right there. And there's only a handful of Nets I did. So if you go like Cat, OG, D-Russ, Cat, Bridges, Keon Johnson. Like, I think that's as much as I want. Now, I don't even know if I want, like, I was getting like Hart, OG, and Cat. That feels a lot. That feels like a lot. Now, maybe Bridges in there instead of Hart, because that's like a 2K savings almost. But I want pieces late. Almost all my teams, I think, would have at least one of Giannis or Cat, though. You need to spend your money on a slate with so much value.
Yeah. So what are you saying? Did you just say, sorry, I was reading the chat. You do want to leave salary or you don't?
No, I almost every single one of my teams will have either Giannis or Towns because you have so much value on the slate already. Like it's a raw point slate at that point. Like I don't like LaMelo and Steph much, and they're definitely in play because of just how the slate is. But like I have Towns projected for 10 more than the next highest guy, and then Giannis projected for like 9 to 10 more than just Towns alone. And when we have all this Lakers value, well, let me make sure I got that right. It was like I have him like 9 points for Towns over the next guy, and like 9-10 Giannis over Towns. So when you just have that big of a gap and you have so much value on the slate, it just becomes a raw point slate up top where you need the highest guys. Even if Giannis has an okay game and gets you 59, that could be enough on the slate without a flame. So I guess that's the main stuff. Miles Bridges will be unowned. Yeah, he will. All those guys, if you're not playing, like with everyone playing Giannis and Towns, if you're playing Steph, LaMelo, Tyrese if he plays, Miles Bridges, Scotty Barnes, if you're playing any of those guys, they're gonna be low owned. Siakam, like all those dudes are gonna be super, super low owned. Giannis not playing a full game, maybe, but it's 7.5 point spread. Like if Bucks are up 8 with 5 minutes left, Giannis is in. So that's how I'm looking at it. Especially when every single game is high spread a high spread. It's hard to be. And even if Giannis got 28 minutes today, 28 minutes might be enough today.
Yeah, if you need 48 points, Giannis is your guy.
Well, I think you need more than 48. So if you think he gets 48, definitely full fade. Talk to me about Monk being the best. There you go. You get the
that's what we said, Hebrew. But we said the Kings. We said Monk's the best play. Yep. Guards cook the Bulls. What's up, Desmond? How's it going?
What's up, Desmond?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. A lot of interesting things. I mean, that's the thing is no one's going to know, right? Who's starting for the Lakers, who's starting for the Bulls. With Giddey is in or out. the Raptors could pull some, shenanigans at the end. Who knows, So I think we broke it down pretty good. Yeah, Michael Neck, Giannis hadn't been optimal for 2 months, but hey, there's always tonight. I mean, Giannis is a great play tonight, playing against Jackson Hayes tonight. May be the night. Anything else, closing remarks before we get on out of here, Title?
No, always love talking with you, Ham, talking basketball. Soon, baseball on the horizon. You and Big Nades, you'll be making the transition shortly. We still will be having NBA and MLB shows, though, when it comes. Gonzaga 13-0 over. Woo! I do have money on the Zags, 4.5 right at open. That's what I'm about to be getting off and doing. So, no, baseball right on the horizon, March Madness, beautiful weather, still NBA money to be made. I mean, hey, life's good, Ham.
Yeah, life is great. Jackson Hayes' defense is under. Is Jordan Newens? Is that really Giannis just pretending to be Jordan?
Hey, I will say Rio's been talking about that same thing, and Jackson Hayes is my boy, so I think I might have to side with Newens on this one. Yes, sir, Nades. Yes, sir.
Badgers minus 16.5. It was close early. They ended up blowing them out.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't know if easy is the right word. I think it was 19, and they had 2 threes. Montana did. In the last 2 possessions, I would have made it 16 and lost by the hook. I got 14.5 at half, but easy. I don't know the exact word, but
nothing's worse with than losing by the hook.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah. All right, nice chatting with you, Title. Nice chopping it up with you for the day. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this show. I'll be back tomorrow with my guy BJ. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck tonight in your contest. And as always, let's ship it.